Welcome to the library. Let's go see a show.
Good day, everyone. My name is Josh. Hello, this is Beth. It is called a blue-tongued skink. And not stink like ew, stink. It's skink with a K. And it's called a blue-tongued skink. Why do you think it's called a blue-tongued skink? Why do you think? No. Yeah, that's why. You see if I do this with my head? You see front row first? They're from Australia. Get to be about this size. Not massively big like myself, 6 feet. Gets to be this big. This to be about what, 10, 20 years now?
They live to be about 20 years.
They're very nice. It's kind of like a snake with legs, as you can see. It's very smooth, very nice.
Now, why does he have that bright colored tongue?
That bright colored tongue is a defense technique because bright colors like yellow, like your shirt, blue, red, bright colors say that to other animals that they're poisonous, like poison ivy. So when he goes, you would say, "Leave me alone, I'm poisonous," even though he's really not. But the other animal will think, "Oh, you're poisonous, I'll go away," and leave him alone. So that's why his tongue is a nice bright blue. He eats meat, right?
He's an omnivore. Does anyone know what an omnivore is?
No.
Oh, buddy, go for it.
Something that eats plants or meat.
Perfect. So this guy loves fruits and vegetables like bananas, strawberries, carrots, lettuce. Do you guys like those things?
Yeah.
But he also likes mealworms, crickets, beetles. Do you guys like to eat those things?
No.
Well, he does. He likes to eat all of those things. Now, this is Miss Piggy. And Miss Piggy got her name for a very, very important reason. Miss Piggy is a Western hognose. So, please let me introduce you to her. This beautiful creature. Now, this is a Miss Piggy, and this is as big as she gets. So, as you can see, she's a very, very small snake. Really quickly, before you guys get to pet and hold her if you want, I want to show you why she got her name. So if you guys can see, look at her nose, you're going to see that she's got a beautiful pig snout. Do you guys see that upturned nose of hers? Isn't it adorable? And if you guys can't see in the back, when she comes around, you guys will all get a turn. Now, she uses that nose for a very important reason. She lives in North America, so she lives in an environment where there's lots of sand. She basically lives in a giant sandbox. So she uses that nose like a shovel, and she digs, and she's amazing at digging. She'll actually burrow her entire body underneath the sand in a matter of seconds. And she does that because she is so small, there's lots of animals that could hurt her, so she has to hide. Now, when you guys touch her and feel her, she's gonna feel very different. She's the only snake we brought today that is not a constrictor. So, she's not gonna feel as strong. She's gonna move a little differently. She's gonna move a little more side to side. But the reason we can handle her is because she's considered harmless to humans. Most snakes, whether or not they're poisonous, their defense when they get really, really scared is to bite. And that's how they protect themselves. Miss Piggy will never, ever, ever bite out of fear. She only bites when she's eating, and she definitely knows we're not food, so she'd never bite a human. What she does when she gets very, very afraid, she'll actually roll onto her back. She will lay perfectly still, and she plays dead, just like a possum. And she lays very, very still, and she can actually make a smell come off of her body that kind of smells like rotten food.
So I brought an animal from Madagascar.
So that way that
I went shopping for myself. Got this really awesome cool thing I want to show you. Awesome earrings. Very nice.
she's beautiful. You guys saw her. Look and see what's happening.
These are hissing cockroaches.
And you guys see her beautiful nose.
Lots of mommies are like, let me guess one word, raid. So actually, I have a boy and a girl. cockroach. You can tell is the boys are always brighter. Their orange, their red is always brighter than the girls. See how she's much darker? Boys also have this cool orange on their head. Just like this right here. Girls, they're very sticky. They're called hissing cockroaches because they do hiss like this. Kind of like a snake does. And you guys think that's scary, right? That noise? Well, if animals in the wild think the same thing. They think that hissing noise is scary, so animals will go away from them. They can live to be about 10 years old, and they could be 5 inches this big. Look at that. All more growing to do. And yes, as you can see, you can pet them. They're growing in my hand.
Of course.
Do you like my new earring?
Did you guys see her awesome
It's Gucci.
I've never met anyone who doesn't love Monty. Monty is actually from here in the United States, but he lives in places like Texas and Florida, and he can also be found in Mexico. So he loves very warm places. Monty is a box turtle. Now, like all turtles and tortoises, Monty has an extremely hard shell. His shell is so hard that when he gets really, really scared, he can actually pull his entire body inside his shell, and animals can't bite down and break it. It protects him, but he takes it one step further. Do you guys see this line right here? You guys see that line? Well, that line acts like a door hinge. So when Monty gets really, really scared and he pulls his body inside his shell, he can actually hinge his shell closed, completely sealing himself in so animals can't stick their claws in and get him. So, if you notice, he's starting to do that with his hind legs. He can do the same thing with his head, and when he's completely sealed up, he looks like a rock. So that's why he got his name, because he closes himself up like a box. Now you guys are also going to notice he's got those beautiful red and orange markings on his face. He had those the same reason Frankie had that blue tongue. He uses those really, really bright colors to pretend that he's poisonous, even though he's not. Now, he's about 12 years old. He's going to live to be about 50 to 100 years. But he's not going to get any bigger than this, so he's actually done growing. Now, his shell is attached to him. He was born with this shell, and it grows with him. And his shell is actually made out of the same material as our fingernails. It's just his shell's a lot thicker, so if his shell was as thick as our nails would never, ever break.
This guy is called a bearded dragon. His name is Toothless, like a tame dragon.
He gets a little nervous. You want to be careful about
Bearded dragons live to be about 10 years old. Ours is about 3, so he's still a baby. I know these spikes right here seem sharp, but actually like rubber. See? Like rubber.
Remember, those coloring is to protect.
And one of their defense mechanisms, what they do to defend themselves, they really dig like this and they turn black. All black. All here just. And they're also
wants to be out here
they will also eat crickets, meals,
You can see that he pulls his feet in like that.
along with vegetables.
And he can do the same thing with his head.
Claws are not too sharp at all. They're very domesticated, very easy to just chew. So again, their skin looks really rough and really sharp. It's not. See, you guys all see the spikes? Now I'm doing this. It doesn't hurt.
Now this is a white tree frog. Now these live in Indonesia and New Guinea. Now, in the wild, these animals are extremely hard to find. Not only do they live extremely high in the trees, but they can also change colors. They can go from a light green to a dark green to a brown, which are all colors of the trees. So they camouflage or they blend in with their surroundings and animals can't see them. Now they do have suction cup hands, so they're able to stick onto the wall. And that is how they climb. They literally leap from leaf to leaf and stick on.
Time for snake number 2. This snake is a little bit bigger than Miss Piggy. Very, very, very nice snake. Absolutely nice. One of the best snakes you have as a pet.
But is this the biggest snake we have?
Oh no, it's definitely not the biggest snake we have.
So we have much, much bigger.
I got a scar with my earrings. Yes, I got a scar. Very simple. This is called a ball python or a royal python. One of their defense techniques is they curl up into a ball. A lot. Not quite small. Ball python. This one is a girl, not a boy. Girl snakes are always bigger than boy snakes from Africa. Like many of our snakes. They're a ground snake. That's the leg climbing.
Now she's a constrictor, right?
She's a constrictor. She squeezes like a bear hug to eat. And she eats meat.
Now my next animal, her name is Pinky. Pinky is a rose-haired tarantula. Now, Pinky got her name because of the beautiful coloring on her head. She's got a beautiful pinkish purplish, kind of the color of a pink rose. You're also going to see on the top of her head, she's got 2 black dots. Those dots are actually 8 eyes. But for all those eyes, she can barely see. So she relies on these hairy legs of hers to sense vibrations. So that means that when we talk, she can actually feel everything we're saying. Now she does have teeth. She's got 2 teeth. They're tucked up underneath her head, so we won't be able to see them. But she will not bite. Her main defense, if she gets scared, is she'll try to run away. If she can't run away, what she'll do then is she'll actually stand up on her hind legs and she'll show her teeth to kind of scare away other animals, to intimidate them. If that still doesn't work, what she'll do is she'll take her back legs and she'll shuffle off the hairs on her abdomen. Those hairs have tiny little hooks on them, and when it gets on you, all it does is itch a little. But when it gets on the animal, it usually gets on the animal's face, and the animal doesn't understand why all of a sudden it itches. So it confuses the animal and gives time for Pinky to get away.
A sulcata tortoise. Different from turtles. You guys know the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? What is it? Close. Yes, turtles can swim.
And
Tortoises can't. They do drink water, yes, like everyone does, but they cannot swim. They're from Africa. Ours is only about 10 years old. They can live to be 100 years old. So, still a baby. Still a big baby. Looking to be about this big.
You can do it.
And her weigh about as much as me. Yeah, they get to be very, very big and very, very nice.
That's a sulcata tortoise. They're from Africa.
Please. More time.
Next animal, her name is Bellatrix. We call her B for short. She is a monitor lizard. Monitor lizards are very large lizards, and they are found all over the world. The biggest is the Komodo dragon. If you guys have ever seen a Komodo dragon, they get to be 9 feet. They get to be about 500 pounds. They're huge creatures. Now, Bellatrix is nowhere near that big, but she is a distant relative of the Komodo dragon. Now, really quietly, when you guys feel her skin's gonna feel very rough, which is why she got her name. Her skin is actually so rough that if an animal would try to bite her, it'd take a very long time for that animal to break the skin. So her skin protects her. It's like a suit of armor.